Dear Percy Jackson, Sea of Monsters, how are you? I confess I'm doing rather well. You seem to be a bit under the weather, what with your negative reviews you've been getting from fans of the book and normal critics alike, but we all have our days. You know, I remember when I saw your older brother a few years ago. I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, die, 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 die! I felt quite miffed about the changes they made to the book and characters, changes that I felt were unnecessary, but I thought it functioned relatively well as a movie in its own right. It had a good sense of humor, and the plot felt immediate, even if it relied on a plot device that was more like a means to an end in the book, rather than the point of the whole quest. You know, collect the 3 blue marbles before you can advance to the final dungeon. Really? There were flaws, but the characters were still mildly likable, even with their changes. Except Persephone. Screw your older brother's rendition of Persephone. I don't mean like that, perverts. But see, back when your older brother first came out, I was much more attached to the books. I'd read them more recently, and I was still young. The books will always hold a place in my heart as well-written and funny middle-grade novels, but they aren't the kind of books I'll be reading again anytime soon. I can now look at the movie from an outside perspective and compare the book content with the movie content in a more analytical way, and this is the reason I'm writing this letter to you. Well, Sea of Monsters, you clearly decided to push new boundaries with quality, showing us the lengths a sequel can go to recover from the failings of the former. So I believe thanks is in order. First of all, I am so glad that you decided to make your own opening. I mean, sure, I can see why a dodgeball game with monsters wouldn't be at all exciting, not to mention better at establishing the character of Tyson before Percy realizes what he is. I'd say this paints the relationship in too positive a light. It makes Percy seem like a decent and non-racist person who sticks up for the weak, which of course we can't have, can we, movie? We need your forced conflict. We should have Percy be as selfish and mean as possible to his brother for the majority of the movie, even though he's given him absolutely no reason to do so. I mean, hell, his best friend has the hindquarters of a goat, but that's normal. A cyclops? How disgusting. I'm also glad that we chose not to have Grover captured at the beginning of the movie. After all, isn't that too good of a motivation for Percy to go on his quest? In the book, his dilemma with his father not talking to him was a side conflict, pushed aside because he was afraid for his friend. Of course he's mad at his dad, but unlike Luke, he doesn't let that rule him or motivate him. That's the contrast between him and Luke. For Percy, his friends come above all things. It's a good thing that in the movie, he only decided to go on the quest that didn't belong to him in the first place because he wanted to be special and prophecy-worthy, because he felt that he was second best and it's his job to be party to prophecy. Not like in the books when he wanted nothing to do with the prophecy at all. Going after Grover would be too selfless a motivation. We can't have ourselves liking Percy, can we? And we needed Grover's unbelievable wit. What is our movie without Grover's political humor? And thank you for making Annabeth weak and useless. I always thought that she had too strong a head on her shoulders, being the daughter of Athena. I'm glad you put her back in her place, looking to Percy for everything. No longer is her character burdened by smarts or clever ideas. Ideas are Percy's job, Messiah that he is. And after all, she's just the daughter of the goddess of wisdom. What does she know? It's also good that, unlike in the books in the first movie, she never wielded a single damn weapon. Oh wait, there was that one time when she tried to use a spear really tentatively on the bull, and I think she hit one person in the fight scenes, but I'm glad she never used her knife or had any badass moments. Women can't be strong. Look to your man, Annabeth. Look to your man. And thank goodness we took out her flaw of hubris and replaced it with good old-fashioned racism. That makes her even more likable. Now, to be fair, she was racist in the books, just better written and more complex. One-dimensional characters are the way to go, aren't they, movie? You know what wasn't in the books? Kronos. No, Kronos wasn't in the books. Not yet, at least. Oh, he made his little dream appearances and such, and Luke was trying to resurrect him with the fleece, but he didn't almost come back to life at the end and have a huge battle, because Percy had sent Clarice on with the fleece already before Luke ran into them. But who wants to see a climax with a giant cyclops after them? That's not exciting. We also really needed that scene in the belly of the giant monster, didn't we? Gosh, so much character development. There was like guns and explosions and funny zombie people. In the book, they just used the thermos from Hermes to escape the monster. You know, instead of using it as an engine for their boat. True, laws of physics would prevent them from being able to hold on to the thermos, but you push the boundaries of believability. Don't you, movie? Speaking of character development, I'm glad we didn't have any sirens. It kept Annabeth from being burdened by depth and made sure that we didn't have any high emotional scenes. Movie, you understand that far more emotion is found in a million death fake-outs. Even though I didn't believe for a second that Grover, Percy, Annabeth, or Tyson was dead any of the times you killed them, I felt such emotion in those scenes. Oh, and I'm glad you're going to fake kill Luke every single movie. It really works with the realism of your script. And hey, you decided to fake kill him twice in 5 minutes. I have never seen such a bold move. Death is like scraping your knee. It hurts a little bit, but you come back swinging. Not that the actors chose to have much emotion in the face of these death scenes. It's like they knew they were invincible too, which is always good for tension. Really, the actors chose not to have emotion at all. I'm glad that the chemistry between these characters was so tepid. It made me take every single attempt at emotion as a joke. This is good, since the actual jokes, for the most part, weren't funny. Thanks for keeping us on our toes. You changed the definition of humor, movie. Not that your script helped. The dialogue was written very poorly. Clever writing isn't needed, you tell us. Puns are the way of the future. And by writing in only a few clever moments, we make the audience cherish the laughs they have. This is the true message on life. The amusing is finite. We must appreciate it when it comes in the forms of Hermes and Dionysus, in their brief and glorious moments. What I'm really trying to say, movie, is that you were a piece of poorly written, poorly acted, poorly paced, poorly plotted, unengaging, unfunny, cash-grabbing, passionless cinema that even if removed from the book that you do not follow, you do not work on a movie level. I am so glad that you proved that no one should have second chances, at least in the film world. You are shit. You are pure and unadulterated. So we are left with these new facts. Percy is selfish. Annabeth is a useless racist. Clarice is awesome, just poorly written. Luke is the worst villain ever. Kronos can be defeated in a 5-minute battle. And the Sea of Monsters only has one actual monster in the sea. But on the plus side, Tyson was adorable and the effects were good. Sincerely, Calypso. P.S. I'm not even a hardcore fan of the books and you still suck! Hey, thanks for watching. Obviously, this is my first doing these reviews, but I do intend to do more in the future via format. If you have problems with the format or really anything that I did, please let me know. I'm still obviously learning, so I'm open to any feedback. In addition, if you have any requests of movies for me to do, movies are easier for me to look at because they don't take as long, but I will also take suggestions of books or anime because I may have watched them. But if you have any suggestions, you just put them down in the comments. Also, if you want more, like, subscribe, do all that stuff. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.